welcome to the channel. Last year I took my first long trip on my 2025 Harley Davidson Tri-Glide from Georgia to Pennsylvania. And during that trip I determined that when I got home I had to do something with the stock suspension, as it proved to be a back killer on that last trip. So when I returned from Pennsylvania last year, I had the Legends installed. And they were an immediate game changer, right? So I wanted to make the same trip again this year and evaluate that purchase as well as some additional mods that I had, and decided on any further additions or investments or adds or changes that I wanted to make on the trike. So as always, I like to preface by saying that while it's good to listen to everyone's opinion, inputs, experience, and suggestions, at the end of the day, we all should do what we choose to our bikes, as we're the ones paying for it, obviously, and we're the ones riding it. So the only opinion at the end of the day that matters is our own, right? The rider and owner of the bike. So I found that on social media sometimes that there's always experts, right? There's an expert who knows what's best for us. So on my channel, I want to make it a point to show the importance for us to ride our own ride our way. So sit back and enjoy the view of day one on my trip from Georgia to Pennsylvania. It actually started out great. As you can see, the weather was great. It was perfect in the morning. I left Warner Robins really at sunrise with a plan to get to either northern North Carolina or southern Virginia on day one. So I had my first dumb me moment, right? After riding through the Lake Oconee area of Georgia, I did not stop for gas there. And so when I hopped on I-20, I figured that as soon as I got on I-20, I'd be able to stop and get some gas. But my gas light went on, and I didn't see any signs for gas. So I got around the 20-mile left warning on my gauge, and of course I started to pucker up a bit because I still didn't see any signs for gas. So at about 14 miles left, I took my first exit, hoping to see a gas station. And about 6 miles later, still no sign of gas. And finally, at about 2 miles later, I saw one of the older mom and pop's gas stations, and it was a sight for sore eyes. Of course, had the old style pumps, right? So it was nice to see those. I haven't seen those in a while. So of course I had a feeling of relief there. It was real, and I vowed that I would not drop below a quarter of the tank for the remainder of the trip. So again, it started to get hot when I hit the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So I decided to end day one at Christiansburg, Virginia, and that was about 455 miles total on that first day. So it actually turned out pretty good on day one. So the Legends, right? The Legends did extremely great, right? Huge difference from that first trip where I felt every nook, bump, and cranny that I hit on the road. These Legends on the rear is a completely different ride. You know, had it honestly not been for the heat, because I basically stopped at the end of that day because it was getting hot out there. I could have kept going, right? The body was feeling good. One of the things that I want to keep an eye on during this trip is the handlebars, right? So I had the 12s put on, as you can see, but still I'm having some left shoulder fatigue and pain, and I'm thinking that it may be due to the width of those handlebars, not just the height. So after I purchased them, which I should have did the research a little bit more prior to, but after purchased I realized that there are also different width lengths of the handlebars, and that makes makes a huge difference along with the pullback. So they may be a little wide, right, where I'm still stretching that shoulder out a little bit. So if anyone has any input on and suggestions concerning how you dealt with that, I'd be happy to hear that. In addition, I am still riding the stock seat. I haven't decided on a seat yet. Now I have the seat pad on there, which does good, right? So again, no complaints at all with that. So other than the minor shoulder pain, right, towards the end of the day, it was an extremely comfortable ride. The trike handles extremely well, and again, keeping an eye on the fuel gauge. You know, I found myself, I stopped probably more often than most, not just to stretch and get some water and fill up the tank, but not due to any type of fatigue or anything like that. So again, thanks for everyone for joining. Subscribe if you want to see some more. But this is the end here of day one, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with day two on our trip from Warner Robins, Georgia to Carlisle, Pennsylvania and back.